Hey guys, I'm Dave.
And I'm Len.
And welcome to Wargame Chat. Today we're going to talk about how the Centurion's review came into existence. It goes back quite a way, the story behind it. Essentially, I used to hang out with this guy, Ted. This was when I was in my late 20s, I think, or early 30s. And anyhow, after hanging out with Ted, I met Len, and then Len and I were hanging out at one of the Little Wars, and we decided to start playing games at a place called Black Sun Games. Both of us have been playing games forever. That was the first place we played together, was Black Sun Games, and we used to play over there. Were those Task Force micro games and stuff we would play there, and the metagaming micro games and stuff.
Yeah.
And
go on.
And I started writing reviews of these games, and they were just posted on the Black Sun Games website. They're no longer in existence. So I kind of liked writing reviews and giving my opinion. And we kept playing games for years and years afterwards. And I've owned like a bunch of websites in my lifetime. And at one point in my life, I had no website, and I wanted a new one. And I wasn't sure what to do. My original thought was I was going to make a Wargame price guide website because I thought it was ridiculous what some of these people were charging on eBay for some of these games, especially since I went to the same auction they did, and I saw them buy it for like $5 and they're trying to charge $250. I mean, it's really something that sells at conventions at in auctions for like $5 or $10. So I just didn't like seeing people get ripped off. So I almost pulled the trigger on that, and I decided at the last minute not to. I was like, I don't know. I was like, it's such a boutique thing. I'm like, there's not that many war gamers, and there's way less that are actually interested in a price guide. So I was like, nah, I won't do that. So I was thinking about it, and we kept playing games every Saturday. And then I decided, I was like, hey, I'll make a war game review website. So I put the website together. Wrote a few reviews, and we kept playing games, and then Len wrote some reviews for the website and stuff, and after a while we started doing YouTube videos for it, and that's what we like doing the best too. I like writing the reviews, but I haven't done those in a while because I just don't have the time. Writing a review, even if it's only like 3 pages or something, I mean, it takes a really long time. It takes a while to write it, and then you got to edit it and read it a bunch of times, make sure that your editing was correct and stuff. So, I mean, those paper reviews would take like 12 hours to do and stuff for a 3-page review. So I end up, just due to time, just doing everything on YouTube, really. And then after a while, since we always go to conventions and stuff, I started doing walkthrough videos of the conventions and stuff. Those are actually more popular than the reviews on the channel and stuff. Anything I'm forgetting?
Okay, I'm trying to think what else. Maybe it'll come to our mind. Yeah, I'm glad to see you had problems. It just it took too long to write reviews, and at the time I was still working the 40, 58, the 50, 60 hour work week job. So writing a review was hard.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of went by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was thinking I should write a few more reviews and put it up. Can we still do that?
Oh yeah. Just send them to me. I'll edit it and put it up there.
Okay, because actually, it was, YouTube was fun because it seemed like just talking about it was a lot easier, quicker than writing about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to mention is when I decided to make a review website or YouTube channel, actually initially it's just a website, but one reason for one of the main reasons for it is I saw a lot of reviews out there, and they just seem to focus on the positive aspects of the game and then really go over the negative parts. I mean, any review really you want to talk about what you liked and didn't like. Most of them almost seemed like advertisements that I was reading because they just talked to everything's great. There's no game where everything's great. There's always something that can be improved and stuff. So if they're not mentioning anything that needs to be improved, it's really, in my eyes, was more of an advertisement.
That's true. Yeah.
Kind of like these magazine reviews. I'm not talking about just war games. I'm talking about anything in general. You go to like some of these magazines. You notice if the manufacturer is one of the advertisers on for the magazine, then everything they say about their products, everything's perfect. Yeah, they don't mention anything wrong with it because they want that advertising money to keep coming in.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're doing advertising, you never admit that anything's wrong.
Yeah.
Or you just, well, you don't deny it, but you just don't mention it.
And the only time,
that's the art of advertising.
And I've noticed with magazines, the only time they'd say something bad about a product is if it was like a product from someone who does not advertise in their magazine. Then they'll be honest about it. I mean, they'll tear it apart if it's a bad product. But if they advertise for them, no way. I mean, they're only saying good things about it.
Oh, well, one thing, I did that one review about Fresno Gaming Association.
Oh, I remember that.
And it's like, these were like underdogs that for some reason some of the established companies really feared them. And I'm saying, no, first of all, they were, at the time they were first publishing, the best graphics around. One of the partners was a computer expert, and he knew the best programs and everything. So when you had this naval game with the deck things, deck view, you could see where every gun was at. And the graphics were beautiful. Also the map graphics were. And I think that's what the other companies feared for some reason.
Well, I mean, I've never owned any of the Fresno Gaming Association games, but from what I've heard from other people who have, there's problems with the rules. The rules needed a lot of errata and stuff, and then there was some people who accused them of taking copyrighted material like maps and just redoing it and just making it just quite different enough where they couldn't get sued for it and stuff. I don't know if any of this is true. This is just stuff I heard.
The copyrighted maps is like some people. The Mississippi is always in the middle of the river. It's always in the United States. You don't put it by the West Coast or through Washington D.C. Maps. I'm not the expert on it, but it's like if you don't do everything right, all maps look alike, because they were showing a comparison between one of their maps and another game company's map, and I'm thinking, gee, Fresno's map looks a lot better. It's easier to read, more detail. Yeah. They're really copying. I mean, it was like in the schoolyard where they were making fun of the new kid in town. It was like, it was unbiased, and they seem to know that, well, all companies, first couple of years you're in existence, you're fragile. And if the word gets out there, there's a whispering campaign against you, you really can't do anything about it. Because, Fresno could have probably sued a few people for slander, but I don't know if they had the money to pay the lawyers. So... and I would have been a witness for Fresno.
One person told me, they said they thought that the Fresno Gaming Association was the Ed Wood of wargaming companies. I think that was Combat Board Games who said that. That's hilarious.
Well, Ed Wood had this enthusiasm for making films, and the legend of Ed Wood was that he was a fanatic, he was a great fan, had this great desire, he just didn't have the talent. And,
Well, I think part of the problem with him is he did everything in one take. You know what I mean? Like in Plan 9 from Outer Space, when they're walking through the graveyard, they knock one of the cardboard tombstones over, and they just keep rolling the film. They don't even redo the scene.
What was good about that movie was that he had, by that time, he had this troupe of actors that were in his previous films, and they told Ed, we're going to write our own dialogue, okay? And then he says, okay, do it. What else can I do? And that's why some of the lines from that movie are so memorable. People wrote their own dialogue.
I like how you said that Bela Lugosi was in the movie, and then they just show some picture of Bela Lugosi when he's just walking down the street and stuff, and show like 2 clips of it, and they advertise the movie as starring Bela Lugosi.
Well, the thing is, he died early in the filming.
Oh, okay.
And the thing was that he was the biggest name actor on the movie. I mean, the only one that could be famous would be Lyle Tabbitt, the guy who played in, I think, the most movies ever. He never turned down a role. He was in a lot of turkeys.
I think the actors in the Ed Wood movies deserve some credit because, like I said, this was all done in one take, and they got the. It seemed like they got the entire dialogue down perfectly without making any mistakes on the first try, which is pretty commendable.
Because there was a movie about it with Johnny Depp and I think Bill Murray. And so Depp says, for years people have been making fun of these people. I'm trying to show them in sympathetic light. This is what there was one scene in that movie in which Ed Wood's the character Ed Wood is in this pink sweater talking to Orson Welles about all the problems both of them are having in movies. How I have to cast so and so because he's a relative, and someone said that did not happen because Orson Welles was in Europe at that time. But he noted that if the two of them ever got together, the conversation would probably be along those lines.
Also, Ed Wood had some movie. I never saw it. I just heard about it. It was some movie where some guy got a sex change or something.
Yeah.
This was like in the 1950s or something. And back then, you just didn't talk about things like that. So, like, the entire population of North America was utterly outraged that he would come out with a movie like that.
Yes. Yeah. People forget he did other movies after Plan 9.
Yeah. But Plan 9 was the worst, so that's why that was
what happened
remembered.
was actually some people saw the talent. He was actually a good writer, or at least he wrote the scripts very fast. And I'm trying to remember, there was one movie in which it was in color, and actually he wrote it and someone else directed it. And it was like, somebody's visiting, talking to Satan, and he's talking about all those people, and gives it a glimpse of what hell looks like, and all these people there. So, had a lot of topless dancers. But that's what you expect in hell.
Oh, one other thing before we go. We played today. We're not going to make a review of this because not really the type of thing we review, but we played One Deck Dungeon today. What did you think of it? I considered it mediocre.
Yeah, I'm not into that. So
yeah, it's kind of a dungeon delve that's a Euro. They basically took a Euro and pasted a dungeon theme on it, but
the good thing is the artwork. Both all the cards are very well done.
Yeah, the artwork's first rate, and they wanted to show how virtuous they are by making every character in the game a woman. I guess I thought that would increase the sales. I don't know whether it did or not. I have no idea.
So, okay.
But anyhow, that's all we got for this week.
And now we're going to go Christmas caroling.
Oh, yeah. All right, take it easy, guys.